everyone, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Brandon. And we're the
Wagners.
Wagners.
We're a husband-wife duo who travel all around the country since 2021 for Brandon's travel nursing job.
We love hiking, car camping, new cities, and of course, the best food and drink. Along with adventure, we always look for ways to keep our travel budget-friendly.
So pack your bags and join us as we wander together. Bonjour Wanderers, welcome back to our page and welcome back to Paris. Sadly, this is our last day in Paris, and honestly, we just had a pretty relaxed day today, so I don't have too much to share, but either way, let's dive right in. So we only had one plan for today, and it was honestly one of the highlights of our entire Europe trip. So today we did a baking class to make croissants. So I apologize, I don't have very much footage of this as my hands were covered in dough and flour for a long time. But while I show you just some footage of Paris, I'll talk about the baking class. So we did these through La Cuisine here in Paris. The classes are offered in English and you have an excellent chef who leads you through all the steps. They have a lot of different classes, so of course I'll link their website in the description so you can pick which one is best for you. Honestly, I'm not much of a baker, but I do love to cook, so I was kind of hoping for a cooking class, but this one worked better for our schedules. But again, it was literally one of the highlights of our entire trip, so no complaints here. Some of the classes are pretty broad, like French dinner, and then others are more specific, like croissants or macarons. So they even have some where you can actually go to the store first and pick up your ingredients for your dish. But the ones that we did, and most of them are about 120 euros for 3 hours, and the ones where you start shopping are 190 euros and 4 hours long. So we love this because obviously, as I'm hoping you've picked up, Paris is all about food, so we loved hearing from experts how to make our own. The classes are really small, and we really liked that because our chef really got to give us a lot of attention and help us. I think there were only 8 people in our class. So since you only have 3 hours, normally dough needs to set for way longer than that. So you kind of have to work in reverse. So right away you're getting into shaping dough, and then later in the class you'll make the dough that will then be used by the next class. So I was a little upset at first when I didn't realize what we were doing. I thought that we just weren't making dough, but don't worry, you'll do all the parts of making the croissants, just maybe not in the order that you'd expect. So I believe I owe you guys another fun food fact. So let's talk about the birth of the croissant. So to start, croissants are not actually from France, they are from Austria, and they're not exactly like the croissants that you see here today and the ones that you think of. So one of the queen's bakers was supposed to make her favorite pastry, but he realized after he made the dough, he forgot the most important ingredient, the butter. So with all the dough formed, he had a great idea. Instead of starting all over, he would just layer the butter into the dough and just keep adding butter and folding, so on and so forth. And then when it was baked, it made these beautiful flaky layers that we all know and love today. The queen loved this and asked for them made like this all the time. So I don't remember when France got a hold of the recipe, but our chef Phillipe told us that it was a very French thing for them to steal the recipe and pass it off as their own, and I said that also seemed like an American thing. One thing that we really loved about this class, and honestly the whole process in general, is from the same dough you end up making like 7 different kinds of croissants. So once you have the dough, you can really just go ham into all the different kinds you want to make. So I really thought we were going to leave with like 2 croissants, including the ones that we ate right away. I think we left with like 8. So we even used the scraps of our dough to make little cinnamon twists, which were actually some of my favorite pastries that we made, so waste not. So altogether we made regular croissants, chocolate, rum raisin, pizza swirls, which are not pictured because we ate them right away, chocolate pistachio braids, and the cinnamon twists. So when we were all done, they even brought out American coffee and tea for us so we could enjoy some coffee with our fresh croissants. So after making these and all the work that goes into them, I appreciate them so much more now. So this was such a delight, and I would really strongly encourage you to book a cooking class to learn more about the French culture and to get your hands dirty and have some delicious souvenirs. They might not last long, but it'll be worth it. After that, we just decided to walk around and have a little more relaxed day in Paris. So we stopped by Notre Dame, which you may remember had a large fire in 2019. So it's covered in scaffolding and you can't go in right now, but there's still some angles where you can see and get a good picture. We also walked around Montmartre, where we were for a food tour the day prior, and we went to the Sacred Heart Cathedral, but we couldn't take any pictures or videos, so I don't have any. But we did just enjoy sitting on the hill and overlooking the city. We also got gelato at a place that we didn't stop at on our food tour but was recommended. We turned in pretty early so we'd be ready to travel to London early the next day. So lastly, we just went to a little bakery near our hotel for dinner and then walked along the St. Martin Canal.
Okay guys, so sadly that is a wrap on Paris, but thank you so much for coming along with us. I hope you really enjoyed it. This was one of our favorite stops in Europe. And I just have something quick to say. Before we went to Paris, everyone kept saying how Paris is overrated, it's dirty, everyone's mean. And I just have to say, figure things out for yourself, because I totally went in with the expectation that I was going to be disappointed, and I overhyped things, and honestly I found that I underhyped things, and I loved just everything in Paris. Everyone we talked to was super nice. Everyone was willing to help us. So just don't let other people's negativity ruin things before you have the chance to experience them for yourself. So I would love if you guys got the chance to go to Paris. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you don't, but you have to figure that out for yourself. So we had a great time, and I hope that you guys did too. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions or things that you love to do in Paris, and we will see you guys next week in London. Bye!